Hello, everybody, and welcome to Burden of Command. As we're going in here, and hey, Feta, thanks for 33 months. We're closing in on the 3 years there, mate. Thanks for being around for all that time. As yeah, we are going into Burden of Command. I just got the game. I'm not sure how to play it. I have heard good stuff about it. I have heard it's pretty clunky as well, though. So yeah, we're gonna see how this will go. As it's a game that is pretty a lot based around role playing as well, just as good strategic decisions. Like there will be a bit of wargame aspect, there will be a bit of role play in there, and we will go in with the cotton ballers into the campaign here. And I think we're gonna go with balanced here. And see how this goes. The first mile. 1942, Virginia. Okay, let's get ready to fight a war here, guys. This campaign occasionally shows disturbing images, graphic violence intended to convey the true burden of war. This is not a fit for you. Please consider refunding the game now.
Hello, this is Luke Hughes, lead designer for Burden of Command, and I'm breaking through the fourth wall today, ouch, to thank you. Thank you for taking a risk on something new, a leadership RPG. Now I imagine you're here hoping to test your mettle as a leader, emotionally, morally, tactically, in World War II. For us to give you that experience, it means a risk for you. What's the risk? Well, a new approach obviously requires a learning curve, and we all know learning curves can produce confusion, hell, even frustration, and playtesting has shown that there is a learning curve for Bird. Two kinds. The easier part, where you learn new mechanics, not tried before, and then the much harder ones, where we break some of your likely pretty ingrained assumptions about how, for example, repeated shooting will kill an enemy unit. We instead do something called the 4Fs, which we'll get into later. The point is, I'm going to be breaking in occasionally here to help you with video demonstrations, along with some design explanations about why we break these conventions. But remember, it's all to give you a credible leadership role-playing experience. And hey, we know these fourth wall break-ins may be jarring at times, but extensive playtesting has shown these videos can really help your journey. So please, keep an open mind, and hey, Cotton Baler, good luck out there.
Cotton Baler, okay, yeah. Right, that makes one. That's a beautiful little image there on the left. Let's commence the journey. Wait, tell me a little about the game. What happened there? Huh? Okay, hello and welcome to the Burden of Command. You are about to embark upon the odyssey of the cotton balers of the US 7th Infantry Regiment mid-World War II. We hope you will find these to be an immersive and tactical leadership experience. History behind the fiction has many sources, but foremost of those is American Courage, American Carnage by John McManus. His writing and interviews were the inspiration that put this project into motion. The reprinting of his book is set to release in April 2025. Okay. That's pretty interesting. Haven't heard about that book, but have heard about the... Yeah, have heard the name somewhere. Maybe I've heard about the book as well. Okay, September 1942, Camp Pickett, Virginia. Morning dew dribbles down the bright leaves of the forest. Ahead, Platoon Sergeant Bennett leads the way beneath the canopy. That should be the hill, he notes, and gestures toward the rise of the east. Bite of a walk, but we are close. A bit of a walk. Okay. A bit of a walk, but we are close. On his back is slung the standard issue American M1 rifle. Virginia, twin to your own. He said, okay, so we really started role playing here. He said that 10 miles ago, Sergeant. I should take another compass bearing. Sounds like he knows where he's going. Let's take the compass. We aren't course, Lieutenant, Sergeant Bennett replies, as your fingers rest atop the compass case. The map preferences were pretty clear. It wouldn't be unusual for the trainers to throw you a curve by providing a dubious map. After all, leadership is about overcoming adversity. But they can't hide landmarks or move buildings. Sergeant Bennett has been in the army since before the big draft in 1940. He knows his way around. I've been in the army for a while too. I'm a recently commissioned lieutenant. Okay, we're going in here. I'm a reservist returning to the army. Okay. 90-day wonder. Trust plus 10%. What background shall we choose, guys? I think reservists. Loyalty plus 1. Background set to reservist. Loyalty is how much influence you have over the men after the scenario is over. Yeah, let's go with reservist. Your former trait. Though it did take a few months to blow the rust off and fight off the civilian pounds. It's good that you had time to do that, because the Germans and Japanese seem determined to light the world on fire. The US has yet to send many divisions overseas, but you know it is only a matter of time. Time to move.
So here I am in boot camp somewhere in Virginia, 1942, just like you will be soon. I'm going to start with our first concept that will be familiar and unfamiliar, your first learning curve aspect. So, like games like XCOM and frankly many tactical games these days, we use action points. We call them orders, and they have the green dots. So this leader has 4 action points. And no surprise, when he say moves, he spends an action point, which you can see happening there.
The US Army will go to war in earnest soon. As an officer, your duty will be to lead the men of your platoon. You just have to find them first. Mouse over the book icons for history or image notes. Book icons? There is no book icon here, okay. There is a line of sight tool. That's always helpful. Does it have a hotkey? It has a hotkey. That's even better. Oh, beautiful. That's always an important thing in games like this. A hotkey for the line of sight tool. Unit basis. Okay, yeah, we use that as well. Move the camera. WASD is working. Well, currently only A and D. So we are supposed to take a free French village? What? I thought we were in Virginia. Why is there a free French flag here? Okay, well, we'll get to it. Left click on the leader, then right click to where we moved them. Closer now. Hills and mountains are always further than they seem. The gray circle that you saw float up indicates that the expenditure of an order. Burn of command runs on orders. Every unit has some, and you can't do anything but get shot at without one. Orders are spent to move a unit. They usually move a unit multiple times. Okay, we have rally, bolster, press, creep. Okay. Let's get up there. It's a good view. Good enough to see a few stragglers from your first platoon. Looks like the kitchen patrol is still on their way to the obstacle course, Sergeant Bennett notes. And if you let them dodge things, they'll never get there before dinner. No changes to verbosity. Verbosity is one of the 3 characteristic traits. It reflects how much your leader likes to talk. Verbosity does not impact the tactical battlefield, but you may add personalization to conversations. Okay. Wave them forward. Yell down. No, let's just order them up.
This is a leadership RPG. We're always going to be focused on bringing out leadership aspects. In the Army, leaders are in charge of platoons, which is a group of squads or companies. And so There's a command structure, and we do that too. This is a squad here, part of my rifle platoon. For it to do something, I've got to order it. Or, if you want to make it simpler, activate it.
Okay.
So, did you see an order came up on me? Not just the squad. The squad paid its action point, but I'm just going to say order from now on. But I paid an order because effectively I ordered the squad.
Okay. Those two circles indicate the remaining orders. To gain their attention, then call out on an order. Conditioned by training, they obey. Squad must be activated to utilize their own orders. The leader will spend an order to activate a squad. When that squad initially shoots, good, moves etc. Once the squad has been activated, they have enough direction that they can then expend 2 or 3 orders without requiring a further leader for the rest of the round. Okay. Left click the squad to select it. Moving the squad will cost the leader 1 order. Okay. Okay, got activated. Call for double time, Lieutenant. Sergeant Bennett asked. The squad first activates in a round. The leader must expend an order. Yeah. We got that.
This squad has been activated. The leader no longer needs to pay an order to activate it. So let's move it, and you'll see no action from the leader. He didn't spend another order.
Yeah, we got that. Yeah. Move them up there, guys. Huh? We're supposed to move them down again? Wait, what? Ah, we're supposed to move them inside. Okay. Didn't we do that now? Wait, what? Move the squad again, move the squad here. When the unit is out of order, it is spent and can't do much until a new round. We'll cover that soon enough. Out of the map. Yeah, WASD works. We can't end the turn. What? Okay, now they both move like this. What? I think we broke it already, guys. I think we broke the tutorial. This is not great. We have a new platoon there. Okay, I would like to hear the rest of what happens if we load it again. The lack of cover can be lethal. Oh no. No, we're okay, but we're exactly at the same spot though. Okay, glorious. We're over the time limit. Let's move the squash. Finish the exercise by turn 4. Don't get any man killed. What are we supposed to do? Move the squad. Okay. We are well over the time limit, Sergeant. Let's move to the squad. There will be no turn 6. This is... Well done, Lieutenant. The Empire notes you avoided a sniper call. Most officers have proven blind to that. Our squad looks beat. Sergeant Bennett says, it's true. By all appearances, they can't possibly take another step. Some might say their morale is low. Right now, it's a dog dig low. It's dog dig low. Like they've been suppressed by enemy fire. But they don't have to stay that way now, do they, Lieutenant? What would you suggest, Sergeant? Give them speech. Speech. They will obey my command. Consider kicking them into shape. Let's go with directness. They will obey my commands. Morale is central. Good morale, firefight, 50-50 you win. Moderate morale, enemy likely to win. Bad morale, enemy will win. Full orders, movement normal, you will pass most morale checks, you will fail most morale checks, and you will fail morale checks. Okay. You only get one order. Get reduced orders. Movement is reduced, and you can't move towards the enemy when the morale is bad. They have been trained to, yes, Sergeant Bennett says, and maybe they'll work today. If it doesn't, I'll kick the slackers around a bit.
Thank you, Sergeant Bennett. Sergeant Bennett is reminding me I need to teach you about the backbone of your company's performance. It's morale. So here we have a good order squad. It's green, no suppression. Has 2 orders, moves about 3 hexes. Tries to move under fire. Pass the morale check to do that, about 70%. And if it fires at an enemy, 50-50. Now notice those initiative wheels, donuts I like to call them. You really want to win initiative, because if you win initiative, you fire first, you suppress the enemy, reduce their morale, and then their fire back will be weak. Now let's look by contrast at this shaken company. It's yellow, it's lost about half its morale to suppression. First thing to notice, subtly, is it only moves 2 squares forward, can still retreat, because they're more cautious, because they're shaken. Also, let's notice one more thing, only 1 order. So the morale is actually reduced the total quantity of actions you can give this squad. Pretty bad. And guess, if you fire at them, not going to go so well. You're going to lose. And the morale check's unlikely. Finally, let's look at these poor guys. About 9 points of suppression. They're red. They're basically cowering. They won't even move forward. Though you can still move them back to get rallied, maybe behind a hill or in some cover. I wouldn't bother trying to fire. Not going to work. And you can give up on assault. Now, friend, let's have a little fun here. This is a 3-star unit. Very experienced. What do you notice? It's got 3 orders, not 2. That's a big win. And guess how it's going to do in firefights? Very well. And guess how it's going to do on morale checks? Hey, it doesn't even have to pass a morale check to move under fire. Work hard, Captain. Maybe you'll have units like this eventually. Lead them well.
Rally will remove suppression. It will also expand all of the squad's remaining order. Okay. The rally unit must not have expanded any orders during the turn. It must be fresh. Your men want guidance and leadership. And that's why you are here with them. Most leaders must be grouped up with a squad to utilize certain orders. The captain would be an exception to that. But do not worry about this. Right now it's because all you have currently is a single lieutenant. Okay. Select the rally. That will do it. Left click the order, right click the squad to interact. Switch squad. Invalid target. Select the leader. Rally. Rallying a squad will remove suppression at the cost of all your orders. They all have spent orders. But these guys don't, but don't think I can rally them. Out of range, yeah. Hmm? Dreaded whistles blow. The exercise is over. Whistles blow. The painfully long exercise is over. Sergeant Bennett waits patiently beside you. Halt the exercise, the field umpire barks formally, then signs the bottom of the page with a flourish. The hand you pushed ahead and did not form up your platoon prior to attack. This would have resulted in some of your men being killed and additional time wasted while you regrouped for a proper assault against a now prepared enemy. I couldn't! Yeah, field umpire with tread clipboard. This image was taken during the field maneuvers of the 3rd Army in Louisiana in 1942. Thanks, game. Would have taken too long to prepare the platoon. Speed was also the evidence, just not. By moving too early, you could maneuver your man into an unwinnable predicament. That possibility is worrisome. See to the man. You did all this. And for what? Prestige is the measure of your influence with a superior officer. Loyalty is the measure of your influence over the men. See to the men. Okay. The umpire is in charge here, and of higher rank. There is no point arguing to protesting, especially not when the platoon needs to be organized. Sergeant Bennett falls in as you head back to your platoon. No matter what you chose, that ump was going to find fault, Sergeant Bennett says. Like being married, but without the fun parts. Hell, I bet getting something wrong was the point of the lesson. Moving just one squad ahead, the others was a bold choice too. Can't deny that. And if it had been an ambush, well, he'd be saving lives. He's probably had to teach this lesson over and over again, Sergeant Bennett says. That wear on anybody. War, actual war will be a hell of a thing. That is what they say, Sergeant Bennett replies. Leaders have to lead not just when things are going well, but also when the chips are down. And yeah, they made certain there was no good answer here because there might not be one over there. Click to access your Wikipedia for tactic hints and helps. Okay. The men draw. Loyalty earned. The mission draw. Empire declared draw. Prestige earned. Okay. One out of action, sir. Let's continue the mission.
A good leader needs to be able to think ahead, anticipate a situation, and make a decision based on the best information available.
At last the fighting dies down. Mission draw. The referee calls it a draw. Nothing you could do about it. This will help me defend those I love. Why are you in the army? To defend the ones you loved. Drafted me for this shit. No. We came back into service. Just like that, the exercise is over. The next will begin shortly. Let's go. Aid your man. Okay. Need to read what they read. They read. Camp Picket, Virginia. Women's Army Corps, yeah. Resources you spend on your man. Okay. The captain earns extra trust and XP based on man versus mission performance. You can see overall unit stats at a glance. Okay. Only XP and trust will be available to modify. Then you'll need these other actions to aid your man. Casualties in combat will appear, stress will appear only when you enter combat. Okay. We have two MG teams and a mortar. And yeah, 2 MG teams and a mortar and 3 normal rifle platoons. Okay. Five prestige. 2 loyalty, 2 prestige, so it costs a bit differently for these guys. Okay. We can upgrade all of these 1 prestige point. Or these 2, and then we can get 2 more. I want one of our MG teams up. Would actually, our MG teams are actually already veteran C1. Okay. We'll get these guys up 1 more. And let's go on with the journey. A second chance. Hopefully this mission works this time around. Virginia, United States. Why is it the Free French we're fighting?
Well, it was infantry. Infantry is different than cavalry. We didn't have horses, but they had light tanks. The cavalry did.
So
And
what kind of training then would you have in the infantry?
Bayonet. The bayonet. Hand grenade. You don't throw a hand grenade like a baseball. You lob it.
Gerald Jaxley. 24th of September 1942. Another famous World War II battle invading. Yeah, Sequoia Dog. Camp Picket, Virginia. The soldiers of your platoon are very in their boots as they march back to their starting places. The morning run and the recent field problem have both clearly taken their toll. Platoon Sergeant Bennett glances your way, and the unspoken question of whether to quicken or slacken the pace lingers between you. Have your man pick up the pace. Let's get into position. Let's fight the Free French here. The real enemy. You have Bennett pass along the orders, and he calls a brief halt to form columns before resuming march. It isn't a pretty line, but at least they aren't dogging about anymore. Naturally, the gripe about this unjust state of affairs. At the assembly line, the field umpire with the captain bars idly adjusts his clipboard and then recites his expected line. This field problem concerns fire and movement. culminating with an assault upon the objective. Except this time your platoon will have support from your company's weapon platform. Weapons platoons. Okay, so we will have mortar, we will have MG. Okay. Heavy weapons coming up. Lieutenant, Sergeant Bennett notes as a dozen men from the weapons platoon march over. They don't have real 30 calls yet, just logs painted black. Those are supposed to be as heavy as the real thing, but the beefy officers leading the weapons platoon carries a log as if it were no heavier than a baseball bat. Lieutenant Stern. Hey Stern, we're about to kick off. Not without us, Stern calls back, and his voice carrying well across the field. You are almost late, Lieutenant, the field umpire notes. It was a long run from the target range, Stern replies evenly, but it will be the crowds who will be doing the running when we take a crack at them. Yes, well, today's objective it is for a combined arms assault on the farmhouse down there, the field umpire says and points to the little house in the distance. Time will be as it ever is a factor. Stern certainly is eager. Stern looks your way. Tell me what to hit and we'll hit it. Hard enough for you to schlep right over. He says, then glances down at the 30 cal in his hands and chuckles. Well, we'll pretend to anyway. Back to your platoon, lieutenants. The field umpire says to you both, you are allowed only limited communication while the exercise is paused. In particular, the weapon platoon will be initially unavailable. Understood. Good, because it is part of the exercise, the field umpire replies. And that is apparently that. Remember, rifles first, then the machine guns. Stern gives you a knowing nod at that news, and the two of you depart for your different platoons. Consider how best to develop this field's problem. Your 3 rifle squads are organized as part of the first platoon. The machine gun and mortars are part of the weapons platoon. Each platoon has a leader in command. Stern is in charge of the weapons platoon. Okay. Or Stern. We've got everything but tanks, Sergeant Bennett remarks. Each platoon will have a different role to play. Rifles expend up to 2 orders to shoot, but only 1 to move. Machine guns expend 1 order to shoot, but cost at least 2 to move. Mortars cost at least 2 to move and up to 2 to fire. Okay.
Bennett tells me you're progressing, LT. So today we get to talk about tactics, not just mechanics. Without further ado, why don't we go to, I think, the core of how we're different from most tactical games that the casual gamer or others might be familiar with, namely bang, 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 you're dead games. This is true of a fair number of tactical World War II games too, but I don't think of reality. You know, people don't want to die. You fire at them, they're going to get down behind the stone wall, and your bullets aren't going to do much. So, instead you need what's called the 4S. So here we are in Germany. You've got elements of a rifle platoon, you've got Germans up north, and your goal is to suppress them first. You're not going to succeed in killing them, they're in pretty good cover, and they're going to put their heads down. So you've started firing, but it's not just bang, bang, bang even for suppression. You have to be smart, you have to use your leadership. You have to bolster, improving their fire. The leader is directing the fire here. He's using a heavy weapon, which is intimidating, higher rate of fire, puts more bullets around the squad. And, you know, when you hear bullets whizzing by, you start to be suppressed, meaning you're keeping your head down. And you can see the color bars here are telling us the state of the enemy's morale. They've gone from green to yellow, and they will shortly be at red. They've been doing an effective job here. He's suppressed. Ah.
Okay, a whistle blows. Let's go. Finish the exercise before turn 2. Don't get anyone killed. Okay. Select the squad, then right click to shoot. This consumes 1 leader order and up to 2 rifle squad orders. Stone walls stop bullets, Lieutenant, Sergeant Ben says, but they are not invincible over there. We've got the firepower. Let's have the other squad keep their heads down until Stern is ready. Squad, prepare to fire. Give the order and your men take aim. The enemy is already partially suppressed, so this should be a little easier. To signal Sergeant Grant across the way. He replies with equal vigor and gets the other squad into position. Glance through your binoculars reveals Private Robert as the soldiers squint through the circular iron sight at a distant target. Beside him is Private Hancock. Apparently has again misled the protective ears on either side of his submachine gun sight. No doubt to remove something he considers to be a distraction. Remember to ask Hancock about his weapon later. Do a little shooting myself. Let's ask Hancock about that weapon later. He needs to keep himself from getting killed. Hancock decides to alter his weapon. If it was for a good reason, you will want to know. Some things, but the same thing if it was for a bad one. That's probably it for rifle work, such Bad says, as the referees make their calculation. But we could give them a taste of the 30 cal instead. Some rounds put lots more of them. Same rounds, but lots more of them. We had permission to use a radio. No radios are available. However, we do have the flags, the umpire says, at a set of flags marked radio. You could always send a runner, of course, slower but more reliable if they don't get shot. Should have opened fire with the MG first. What I really want to employ is the mortar. No, we should have opened with the MG. The Empire had not limited you, then Stern's machine guns would have fired first, hit hard and suppressed the enemy at a range that the enemy rifles could not have replied. Pirates fights can be complicated. Hold the Alt key to mouse over each section for a breakdown of what's going on. Runner or flags? Stern will know what to do. Signal Stern with a flag. Snicks us back an acknowledgement. All the while the enemy keeps their heads down. End the round, then activate Stern. Okay.
We further reinforce that sense of limited command and control by dividing the turn into leader rounds. If it's your leader round, you only get to lead your men, and you don't get to lead them doing Stern's leader round.
Okay. To get the heavy weapons involved, you'll have to switch leaders by ending the turn. Then the enemy will have a chance to react, but by taking their own round. But that can't be helped right now. Okay. Coordination takes time, Sergeant Bennett says as the two of you watch Stern's men set up show. No way around that, even if we had a real radios.
That end toward the enemy.
Okay. Could still fire on them from over here. We could activate it, but we don't do that yet. Okay. Open fire with the machine gun. They bolstered. Okay. That's the sound to hear and fear, especially since the machine gun is firing at the enemy beyond effective range of the rifles. Sergeant Bennett declares. Though it would have been even better if he'd bolstered his men first. Nearby the field umpire checks his watch. Everything is timed. That was a lot of firepower, worth the weight of carrying it forward, Sergeant Ben says. But if we really want to make them pedal and puddle in their boots, we'll need the mortars. Lieutenant Stern will spot the fall of his unit's mortar rounds from his location, the umpire indicates. That is the only way to ensure accuracy. 3 soldiers of the infantry shoot a small mortar gun for the benefit of the visiting Russians. The leader can direct the artillery from his position. The mortars don't need to be able to see the enemy directly to lob shells at them. Just needs Stern to be in a position to spot the fall of the rounds. The mortars could sit safely on the reverse slope of a hill and still contribute to the battle. In fact, that is the way they prefer to conduct themselves. Okay.
Lay it on him!
Definitely on Stern. Spot. Ooh, here we go. Oomph. Nice.
So, some of you will recognize this, but note there weren't any casualties. So, now we have to, ideally, flank and finish. And Dearborn, let's hope you can do the job here. So tree about sort of laying down the field work for success. There's a lot of games that focus on drama melee, but from what I've read, for instance, in Leo Murray's book, actually most assaults led to surrender or retreat because people suppressed don't really want bayonets in the stomach.
Moment of calm amid the chaos. Additional information and entertainment? No, let's move on. There we go, Lieutenant, Sergeant Bennett says, as the moment of calm fades. There ain't nothing a soldier can do about a shell that has his name on it. Our squad isn't considered dead, merely pinned, the field umpire notes. They'll stay that way unless you execute an assault to either take prisoners or force the enemy to retreat. Bang 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 will not take a position or prisoners. The squad will just hunker down behind cover and wait things out. That is why you will need to make an assault. I'm on it. Let's take him in the flank, Sergeant Bennett says. No one fights hard if you hit them in the kidney from the get-go. And if you can stay out of their sight, so much the better. When Stern ceases fire, you will attempt exactly that. Field enemy threatens the orange outlined hexes. They could perform opportunity fire on units moving through them. Okay, so if we move through here, we are safer. The odds of successfully initiating an assault can vary greatly. Even a moderately suppressed squad will almost never be able to manage it. So if a squad is in good morale, gets bolster and takes the enemy in a flank, well, they will almost always commence the assault. See if the squad meets that criteria, look for the flanking morale booster indicator. Okay. Okay. Enter around and switch over to the rifle squad. Okay. Select the squad. Bolster. Okay.
That's the way!
Bolstered them. And let's charge. Go hand to hand.
Let's get it done!
No resistance. Nice, we got the free fridge. World War II is won. That's the way, Lieutenant. Sergeant Bennett waves you over at the end as the enemy soldiers in their red armbands run off. It'll be harder overseas, but we've got the method down there here. Behind him, the field umpire takes another box on his clipboard. Another enemy squad has been sighted, the field umpire notes. They were attempting to reinforce the objective and now have begun a counterattack. We must deal with them. What? Where? There, the field umpire says. That doesn't point. Whistles blow, the exercise resumes at once. Okay, new enemies. Hold fire. How does that work? To change facing right click on the hex outside. Yeah. Didn't we do that? Okay. Okay. Wish our lieutenant was eagerly stern. Okay. If the enemy is not suppressed, end the turn. End the round, not the turn. And then switch to stern. And leader round, yeah. And then we can... We'll get those Nazis, okay. That worked. Okay, once the enemy is suppressed, enter round. And then switch to the rifle squad to make an assault. But we don't have anybody. Field umpire makes another note on his clipboard. Great exercise so far, huh, Lieutenant? Sergeant Ben asks, pitching his voice up to be heard by the field umpire. The lessons learned from the extended exercise will help save lives over there. Oh, the rare valid point, the field umpire remarks before or can put in a word. Proceed. Okay. How did this work again? Support. Can you spot for them? Can bolster. Can suppress them. We don't know what they exactly got. But we get them suppressed nicely. Now we can hit them here as well. Okay, and leader round. This looks promising. Let's go hand to hand.
You think I'd do this on purpose?
Take that position. The other squad is taken prisoner. No running off this time. Whistles blow. Now that exercise is truly over. The field umpire signals for you and Ben to approach. Minor victory. Yay. 1 out of action, sir. Let's go.
Being a strong leader also meant being able to rely on others to
Hey,
help
Crim.
get the job done. That included fellow soldiers who had vastly different strengths and weaknesses than his own.
And so, this exercise is over. Currahee Mountain in Georgia. And Dick Winters eventually a major with the 101st Airborne during his early years in the US Army. The umpire's pencil makes a final note to the paperwork atop the clipboard. Mission, minor victory. Yay! Man, minor victory. Move on to the next one. Full marks to felt umpire size, but the next exercise will not be so easy. You share a knowing look with Sergeant Bennett. Your men gather up. All 3 squads. This is my platoon. Standard army designs are fine. No, let's personalize our platoon. Personalize your own officers. First, right-click on your leader portrait. Then click on the edit button. You can change your name, portrait, or the platoon's insignia. Then you click on another officer, so you can also change their platoon's insignia. Build surname. Who wants to serve in my platoon, guys? Current mindsets and details are displayed. Schedule is tight while there is still daylight. The next exercise is waiting. Wait, what? Ah, okay, I can do it here. Service Club Camp Picket. Yep, story of a battle. The failed raid. British messing up. We're going to do our part and we'll win because we are on God's side. Formation with a squad echelon. Two leader, messenger, student guide. 2 forward, 1 backward. 1 squad forward, 2 squads backward. Okay. Wait. Okay, right click. Inactive. Professionalism achievements. Anybody wanting to serve in here, guys? Let's go with this. Does this actually change? No. Okay. And unnamed. Huh? Wait. Let's go with Lieutenant Fedder here. Save edit. Wait. Yeah. Okay, save the edit here. Dearborn. I like Stern there. Captain Lamp. Is that us? That's us, right? That's Captain Protoss. Ah, okay, no, I can't. Wait, I'm Lieutenant Unnamed. Okay. Right, okay. Then this is Lieutenant Protoss. Then this will be Captain Lieutenant. Well, we can't change these names. Okay. This is on the Bear Cove, right? Drinking some of Hitler's wines or Goebbels' wines? No. Goering's and Hitler's wines. Wine depose. Okay, we can upgrade people. We have these guys to 1 star. And I want Stern upgraded. Want my weapon platoons being better. We upgraded these guys a bit before, so let's continue with that as well. Two houses. Virginia, United States.
No, no. When we left Fort Leonard Wood, nobody knew where they were going. I mean, they just loaded us on the train, and in fact, we didn't know where we were going till we got close to somebody. How it got out, but somebody said we were going to Camp Pickett, Virginia.
September 1942, Camp Pickett, Virginia. Men trudge down the road towards the next training site. Jeep comes the other way, burdened with a big green army mailbags. Think that's our mail, Lieutenant? Sergeant Bandars. Given how the Jeep practically overflows with cargo, some of it has to be for Nickel Company. There could be something from my pirates. There could be something from my sweetheart. Everyone has someone waiting at home, and you're someone writes often. The men are certainly distracted by the possibility of their own letters, too. Sergeant Grant glances between Bennett and yourself, clearly eager for orders. No mailbags for us. Keep marching. Ah, we could flag down the Jeep. Gain loyalty. Grab the mail for later. Schedule a break. No mailback for us. Keep marching. Let's flag down the Jeep and grab the mail for later. If Bennett flagged on the Jeep, and your imposing sergeant does precisely that, by standing in the middle of the road and daring the driver to run him down. The brisk discussion results in the transfer of an army sack filled with letters. At lunchtime, the man can read them. You know, it's bad when you're looking forward to a cold lunch, Private Morris says, to the lanky soldiers marching beside him. Could be worse, Private Patterson remarks, briefly glancing down at slightly more rotund Morris. We could be Wolverines. Give it a little laugh. Funny and true. Although given the amount of amphibious training that is scheduled ahead, the margin of difference might be slimmer than your man might like. Still, a chuckle sweeps the ranks, and that dispels the consideration of the probability of a hot lunch. The humor continues right up until the field umpire, that same cat as before, steps over and signals for you to bring everyone to a halt. This is Integrated Company Command Operations, the field umpire with the clipboard says. His uniform is somehow crisp despite the heat, right down to the black band of a field umpire neatly set up about the sleeve. The good news is that the next exercise is ready. The bad news is that you, Lieutenant, are not. Wait for the twist. Lieutenant Stern is more than part of this. Indeed, the field umpire says. Lieutenant Stern and Lieutenant Dearborn will be part of Blue Force. You yourself will be acting as their captain. We'll have limited time to consult with them. Limited time, sir? Sergeant Bennett asks. If you're ready, then you're stead. How limited? The field umpire taps with his watch slightly, then gestures towards a nearby rise. Hurry over the rise. Okay. Over top of the rise, you find two lieutenants in the midst of conversation. Stern paces about, kicking pine cones up with every step. Across from him is a man of bearing, tall without needing height. His hands clapped lightly behind him. Lieutenant Dearborn. Lieutenant. Lieutenant Dearborn says, as he turns to you. We were just discussing strategies while we wait upon the captain. I'm the captain for this filter problem. Okay, Lieutenant Stone says without the slightest pause. Dearborn says nothing, but upon finding your gaze upon him, he tenders over a little nod of understanding at the situation. What do we know about the enemy? Reinforced platoon from Red Force, Dearborn says. At least one machine gun. I didn't hear anything about that in the briefing, Lieutenant Stone says. A very brief briefing. An umpire may have mentioned it in passing, Lieutenant Dearborn replies. What kind of tricks do the refs have for us? The Red Force isn't entirely in the buildings, unlike last time, Stone says. They spread out. Onto the flanks, likely as not. Dearborn says. They would guard the obvious approach to our objective. A warning whistle blows in the distance. The 2 flag goes up for the nearby radio man. The exercise is shortly to begin. For now, I am the captain. Let's get to it, Captain, Sergeant Bennett says. Captain is a wild card for orders. He can activate any unit in his company, regardless of the active leader, by using the Take Action Commander button. Furthermore, Captain can bolster, press, and rally any squad in his company that is merely adjacent to him. This scenario you will play on the map as Captain Lamb, so that you can learn about the Captain's role. Captain provides flexibility with orders. Captain and only a captain can bolster, press, or rally one of his company's units when adjacent to the squad. This gives him range and means he doesn't have to stack with the squad. Vital thing if a lieutenant is already there.
You may think tactical leadership is all about leading men in combat, difficult moral decisions. But frankly, a lot of it's about coordination, or what the military calls command and control. Wouldn't be a credible leadership RPG without some of that. And you've got some problems, LT. Look at you. You're inexperienced. You've got 4 orders to run 3 squads. Contrast the captain. He's got 5 stars. He's got 6 orders to run. Wouldn't it be nice if you had that? Well, maybe someday you will. Now, you're running a platoon. You're not running Stern's weapon platoon. You're running your 3 squads. And the interface reinforces your spotting them. There are ovals for your platoon. They're also over here. And you have an insignia for your particular platoon. You're reminiscent of the cotton balers insignia. And by the way, you can customize that.
Whistle is blown. The exercise begins. Finish the exercise before turn 4. Suffer no more than light casualties.
Mortars, forward.
Okay.
Moving now.
Select captain. Click rally. That squad is getting their shit in gear, but we can't press them to do more. Sergeant Bennett says. Soldiering isn't about big deserts and bed of flowers. Press the man into action. Together, you and Bennett get the man moving again. There's no time to rest. Not yet. The press order will expand one leader's order, but then refresh a single order for a squad. This is most often used when the squad is in a bad position, but is also spent and can't act. The squad becomes tired and can't be pressed again until it is rested either via rally or the rest command. Okay.
There's another reason we do lead around, to emphasize another coordination problem, namely coordinating your company of 4 distinct platoons, independently led. That's not easy, and so the rounds force you to choose what platoon is doing what. And there's a last reason. The military likes to say, the enemy gets a vote, meaning they're not going to sit quietly while you do all the wonderful things you'd like to do. They might want to do things that interrupt your plan, kind of like happens in chess. You get a move, they get a move.
The Empire writes something in a small box, then initials it. Nothing like a few sharp words from a sergeant to get a squad moving again. Sergeant Bennett remarks once the excitement ceases. Now we need them to lay down some fire to see whether the enemy is hiding over there. Order recon by fire. Send a messenger to Dearborn, Sergeant Bennett asks. It's his man and you'll probably have other things to take care of shortly. No comment, the field umpire notes, except to say that the captain's time is valuable, which is why you have subordinates that you can act in tandem. If only Stern were in a better position. Have Dearborn order a recon by fire without having to pass the round. Okay. He's right. Dearborn can handle this. This is why a captain has subordinates. They can order their squads while their captain handles a bigger picture at the same time. Okay. Recon by fire. There they are, Sergeant Bennett calls out, and they duck in like a dog on Monday. Time for mortars. Nearby, the field umpire makes a note on his clipboard. Time for some mortars. Quick wave of flag gets Stern's attention. It is now a question of targets. The refs want 2 objectives taken. They want casualties to be light. The 2 objectives are marked on your map. Certainly the refs will tell you when you have officially seized them. And if the enemy has taken them back. It will also tell you if you have inflicted the necessary casualties on the enemy or captured destroyed key battle units. Those clipboards are good for something after all. No one is in possession. Things get a little tricky, at least until someone puts up a proper flag. Casualties happen. We have seen plenty of those before. Even now, sometimes a similarly healthy recruit will drop dead when their heart gives out because of an unforeseen medical condition. But regardless of the source, the more casualties a unit suffers, the worse it will be as a fighting unit. But right now, the men are fresh. The objectives have not yet been taken. Time to come out. Don't have mortars here. We have only squads. What's few victory conditions? Ah, yeah. Enemy kills between 1 and a lot. Draw. Major victory. Capture at least 2 objectives. Yep. These 2 free French objectives need to be taken. Ooh, we even can use support mortar button. There is off-map artillery. Interesting. Flags go up. The enemy over there registers the hits. Mortars have fired. The umpire indicates you will shortly have heavy artillery available to you. Proceed to an overlook position and act as a spotter for the rounds. The exercise continues as you hurry up to the hills. And the threat in the open. Oh. Right, waypoints. Slam, the field umpire calls out. Officers needlessly in the open means a sniper opportunity. Given that we do not wish to terminate the exercise, the officers of Lieutenant Einstein may continue. Artillery support coordination is next. Target is that house down there.
So let's see some of these leadership problems of command and control in practice. We've got an assault situation. We're hoping to take out these Germans here. To make it a little clearer, let's turn on bases. And why don't I bring down one of my squads? Notice up here it's indicating it's going to be my round because I'm doing something. So it's committed to moving my platoon. Now I could move everybody now, but I want to emphasize you don't have to do everything at once. Let's just say I want to pass, see what the enemy does. So I do. Luckily they're pretty passive. I'm going to creep these guys up. I'm going to use hotkeys to make this faster. Now I feel in a pretty good position for an assault, but unfortunately it's my round, so I can't really start firing astern. Let's pass. Remember, leadership rounds, command and control. Stern's going to soften these guys up, hopefully. It's bolster, of course. You always want to do that to win a firefight. Ah, wow, that was nice. We got them red right away. Let's just do one more to be careful. Though when they're red, you're usually in pretty good shape for an assault. But why not be overly cautious once? But I want to keep the momentum going. Now here's my problem. What if they've got a leader in there who's going to rally them? The enemy gets a vote, right? So I can't make my assault this leader round because it's Stern's leader round. So what am I going to do? Ah, this is where your ace in the hole comes in. Your captain.
Okay. The field umpire taps his pencils against his clipboard as you get into position. Here we go, Sergeant Bennett says. Sniper-free view of the battlefield. Not perfect, but take a look at the house down there. The enemy is almost certainly inside. We'll ring their bell with some artillery. And let's bring in the thunder. The US Army is going to use a lot of artillery. And here comes some of it. We have more infantry in position to push this first. So let's... Plus this is more open space. So MGs should have a better time suppressing them there. Flags go up. The exercise is paused as the refs check your numbers. Then verify things with their rangefinder. Eventually they agree that the 105 scored good hits. That's the math then, Sergeant Bennett says, as you survey the hammered target. They look suppressed. So let's follow up on these buildings before they recover. Discerning enemy capabilities is up a key point of the exercise, to fit umpire remarks. And the idly temp says clipboard. However, there's another small matter. Please continue, dear umpire. I'm not the sarcasm guy. What is it, sir? The umpire gestures down the hill at where a team of Stern's machine gunners have positioned the big wooden log that represents the Browning 30 cal. Trouble is, the weapon has a blind side in regards to the southern objective. Send a runner down. You summon a runner and give the order for him to relate nearby. The umpire gives a little nod of approval. Friendly artillery. Yeah, can only fire in the frontal arc. Select the unit. Use the take command button. And then we face in that direction. Stern's gunners heavily reposition their weapon log to cover more of the battlefield. That will do, the field umpire remarks. Lieutenant Captain, you may, as they say, fire when ready.
Captain Lamb here can do a couple of things. First, he's going to take this squad. You notice it's spent, and he's going to revive it. He's going to press it, give it an order. Notice he can do this even though it's your round, because he's the captain. He's going to bolster.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
I bet you can see where I'm headed now. And let's do the assault. Notice I get to do my assault during my round. Hoping for the best. Ha! I use the captain to glue my company together, to coordinate my weapons platoon with my infantry platoon. So, use your orders carefully. Place your leadership appropriately. Manage command and control. Command and control on the battlefield is hard. That's why you've got the burden of command.
He said the word. Roll the credits. The exercise will commence in earnest. 2 houses, 2 objectives. Can't take that one yet. This is too far. Okay, you just fire on these guys then. Okay, you bolster these guys. Oh no, you can't, but you can move in there.
Follow my orders and we shall prevail.
And you can bolster, and then these guys. Have a pretty good shot at charging this. No resistance. It's good. Ah. Okay, we took the first objective. Okay. Turn facing. Good fire. They're cowering. Let's stun them down one more time. Got assault to clear them out. Target heavily suppressed. That's good. You still can bolster. Move down there.
Don't dig in. We're moving soon.
Let's
Hello, LT. I want to talk to you about one last nice aspect of your ace, your captain. He can influence troops adjacent. Doesn't sound that powerful, but it turns out to be quite efficient. So I'm going to have him bolster, I'll use hotkeys here, this adjacent member of your platoon. You didn't have to pay. Let's bolster these guys. Still didn't have to pay. Notice the enhanced movement. And if you want to be sneaky, you can even take command of one of my, or let's say one of your platoon squads, and pay their initial activation for their move.
Let's go.
That leaves you free to do whatever you might need to do. Assault, lead firefights, etc. You can also rally. Powerful.
Powerful. Legs up, legs down. No one is quite sure what is going on. There's some yelling between the umpires about the bombardment, but it makes little sense. Finally, the umpires refer to a telephone switchboard that have set up. stenciled on the one side of the words field radio. Look at that beast, Sergeant Bennett says. Hope we don't have to lug it overseas. C-854, 2 members of the Signal Corps during training at the field operate a field telephone switchboard. Beautiful. I love those old microphones. Also, did he put them under? This nearly looks like he put the headphones under his hair? Or is that just I think that's just a recolorization. I'm making a mistake here. And painting the headphones on this black and white picture over. Instead of making them the headphone color. It looks like he has them under his hair. Finally, the umpire is repaired to the telephone. Yeah. Stern leads the weapons platoon. Dearborn has the 3rd platoon. The first field problem, you are the captain. Your strategy is theirs. Okay, that's what's next, Captain Sergeant Bennett asks. As the two of you return your attention to the field. Okay. These guys... I can't charge this? Can you charge them? Okay, you pin them down again. The flag goes up. A referee whistles streets. Casualty, Lieutenant Sergeant Bennett tells. At least that's how the umpires called it. But between you and me, they are just making stuff up. We should move on to the objective. Casualty inflicts stress, and stress eats morale. Points for points.
What are you, stupid? Come on.
Got him. That's... Oh, no. That's not good. Okay. But this could go well. Okay, we get that one as well. Flags go up, whistles blows. What the hell, Sergeant Bennett does? Your guess is as good as mine. Enemy bombardment, the field umpire indicates, and then writes something on the version of his clipboard. Fairly early. It will be heavy enough to mark the end of this exercise and the beginning of the review. Hey! We did it. Major victory.
I think a good leader is a man who knows what has to be done and sets about to do it. But he also has to know about the people that he's got to do it with.
You're not liking a guy and you know he's got the ability to lead you. You don't care whether you like him or dislike him. First of all, guts.
Guts.
Second of all, brains.
Guts, a lot of guts.
If you ain't got the brains, you don't belong there.
A lot of guts.
Because you're going to take men with you when he gets killed.
You don't want them to, you want to take no men, no matter if they hate you or not. You want to get them in alive and get them out alive.
You got to look up to the guy and like him. If you don't look up to him and like him, you're not going to go with him. And then everybody tells you any different. They're talking through their hat.
Field problem is over. The referees confer. Reports are exchanged. Dialogue concerning your performance begins and ends. Major victory. You were expedient in your maneuvers, but let us leave that aside for now. Firstly, you failed to personally lead an assault. The field umpire indicates and idly taps the top of his clipboard with his pencils. If the men don't see you with them from time to time, they won't be half as eager to go in, Sergeant Bennett adds quietly. Temporary morale bolstering efforts were insufficient, the field umpire says. Gotta know when to bellow at them, Sergeant Bennett says to you. Not every time, but often enough that bolstering their spirits makes a difference. Rallying technique minimal, the field umpire remarks, casting a sideways glance at Bennett. He means you left things to your lieutenants, Sergeant Bennett says, which isn't terrible, but you have to be able to motivate them if someone takes it in the neck. Lastly, fire indirect direction, unproven. That guy doesn't like me, I have the feeling. Or, well, he's not keen on fresh-eyed recruits in general. The field umpire says as he taps his pencil on the top of the clipboard. When the captain directs fire, Sergeant Bennett says, things get done. Frankly, you need a refresher course or 3, field umpire notes, and then signs the bottom of his clipboard. And soon. Can't polish a turd, Sergeant Bennett remarks. Next exercise. Tomorrow is another day, Sergeant Bennett agrees to the platoon. Sergeant organizes the men into columns for the march back to the barracks. Hopefully Sergeant Layton has a hot dinner ready for them. They certainly earned it. Camp Picket. Yep. Big fail. Mm-hmm. You can rename it fully? What? Oh, okay. STL Squad, first platoon. Is there a lion? There is no lion. Let's go with this. Mm. Okay, we upgrade these guys. We want to get Stern higher. A lot of loyalty. Nice. Got these guys upvetted. And let's get this platoon up a bit. Right. This costs prestige. Oh, okay, we can increase the loyalty here as well. Help leaders earn trust. Agree to trust. Okay. Dearborn with trust there on the front line. Crossroads. 25th September, 1942. We are still in Virginia.
That's where we left from. We left from Newport News when we went overseas to Africa then.
Now, when you were there, did you know where you were headed at that point in time?
Nope, nobody knew where we were going or anything. I mean, until after we were out to sea for, you know, quite some time, and then somebody said we were going to Africa.
12th of September, Camp Pickett, Virginia. The barracks at the other end of the courtyard are quiet and still as you approach. A starlight glance as you watch hints that it's almost time to resume training. The men have had it easy. The men have had it easy these last days, Lieutenant Bennett says. He falls in beside you. No doubt he is eager to rouse the men. Early to bed and early to rise makes them better soldiers. The men gain a very little experience and very little suppression. Stick to the usual routine. You know, we're not gonna just wake them up outside of it. The army is about routine, and the men know it well. When the time comes, they get up and do the usual shit. Shower and shave. A hot breakfast follows. Afterwards, they grab their gear and form ranks. A brisk hike ensues. The map takes you right up a ravine and then scramble forward as best they can. Halfway to the top, the field umpire steps out from behind a tree. The expected clipboard is in hand. The sole exercise of the day he calls down to you, company level operation. You are to secure the road ahead, both the crossroads near the apple orchard and the hill overlooking it. Field umpire turns and gestures towards the crest of a nearby hill. Your men groan as they realize just how much further they have to go today. Why are the peaks always on top? Private Morris asks. They've always been up there, Private Patterson replies. Tradition. Hell, this will be easy, Sergeant Bennett remarks as he hikes to the top of the ravine beside you. We know our stuff, Lieutenant. Fire and movement, bombardments and assaults. Nothing to worry about, just a bit of a walk getting there. Then the field umpire blows his whistle. Enemy machine gun, plumbing fire. 2 casualties. Choose one of these men. Points to Morris and Patterson. Patterson points at Morris. Morris points at Patterson. Those two are a package deal? Weigh the merits of Morris versus Patterson. Let's set out Morris here. Point at Morris. The little tuft of a New Yorker almost pouts. I've got a wonderful singing voice, Morris protests. Don't worry, at the end you come back to life, Patterson says with his usual southern charm. And besides, I think we could all do with a little less complaining. The other casualties is your Sergeant Bennett, the field umpire indicates. However, he will be able to accompany you in spirit, as it were, but he may not pass along your commands. Sergeant Grant to the front. Grant will do fine, Sergeant Bennett says, as Sergeant Grant scrambles forward to assume the role of Platoon Sergeant. Your platoon guide will be the replacement. Very well, the field umpire replies. We will now proceed with the exercise. Grant comes forward. A swift explanation puts him in charge of the platoon. Both of his sergeants look your way as whistles blow once more. The rest of the men brace themselves for an uphill struggle. Let's get going. There's one thing, Sergeant Grant says. His sudden promotion to platoon leader clearly weighs heavily on him. It seems likely every field problem included a part where if we forgot about cover, the rest would subtly remind us. Yeah, they love to spot out sniper. So since we know that, Sergeant Grant says, why don't we creep forward and take a quick look around? It'll slow us down, but we're waiting for Lieutenant Wilson anyway. Okay, let's creep forward and keep casualties low. The umpire signals. The exercise commences. Use the creep button. A unit that creeps forward will spend 2 orders and move 1 hex. It will not be subject to opportunity fire and has a chance to remain not to become hidden. Yeah. And there they are, a detachment of enemy soldiers waiting in the woods for you to come strolling forward the hill. They haven't spotted us yet. Your turn to stand and consider how best to both secure the crossroad and the elevated position. Okay. What's the range? That's not. And they can't see the hill. Can't see here, but that's... These guys creep up. These guys move forward. Stay hidden. Okay. Mission. Get at least 2 objective. Get most VPs. Okay.
Macht euch fertig! Das ist ein Heimatschuss!
They actually got Americans who speak German. They are enemy here. Whilst using the Free French flag. I still don't know what's up with that. They already used up their opportunity. Let's take some good cover. Oh. Oh. No, we took a casualty. Okay. Second platoon coming up. Sergeant Grant calls over to you. Lieutenant Wilson must have hustled them right over the ridge. Training were a game of chess, then this would be a strong move. He points towards the hillside where 30-odd men, along with their umpire, scramble along the wood's crest. Lieutenant Wilson leads them from the front. The runners should make contact shortly, the field umpire says, and checks his watch. Reinforcement. Okay.
Give it to him.
Can you fire already? No. Okay. Can pin them down. Target heavily suppressed. Okay. We don't have artillery, right? Oh no, what? That...
Steady. Fire.
That was not quite what I was hoping. Target heavily suppressed. Okay.
Auf geht's, ihr Frontschweine!
Mhm. Let's go hand to hand. Why do you move that way?
That's just what we want. I'm worried now.
Okay, we got them there. These guys stay low. Yeah, they got revealed. I get to shoot first. Okay. These guys are too far away. Huh? Wait, what? We already got there. Okay. You need to rally these guys.
We are not finished yet.
And these guys will get further suppressed. Ineffective fire. Okay, unfortunate.
Nochmal! Rosenfeld kaputt!
This is annoying. That fire is really annoying. Suppression. 13 turns left. Hey, here we go. Runner jogs over and halts before you. Lieutenant Stern says to tell you that he can have the mortars ready to pound the enemy to grab whenever the refs blow the whistle. That was quick, Sergeant Grant notes and glances toward the northeast where the runner came from. Usually the weapon platoons lags even further behind. Should send a runner to show him the sidelines. Stern will gain trust. No. Let's send a runner there. Stern knows how to sight his weapons, but he will know it faster if you assist. You send a runner. Consider an enemy as line of sight. The enemy has elevation, which makes the lines of sight superior, especially anything atop the hill where that MG is also set up. Can check the line of sight. Yeah. Stern's men continue their march with stovepipes and logs in hand. Okay. Stern. How do I... Can I put halfway points? Ah, yeah, okay.
Let's go.
Okay. Now we can give them heat. Okay. Mortar did fire. Oh, no! That was not what I wanted to press there. Well. Okay. It is what it is. Let's charge these guys. Shit, Sergeant Grant says. Seraph decides that the assault didn't work. We need to get the men up before we try that again. Okay.
No can do.
Okay, we got those guys bolstered. These guys can move up. These guys seem to be high morale. Net morale 9. 11, 9. Okay. Yeah, these guys are already heavily suppressed. But they get rallied.
We gotta finish this.
Alright, I didn't bolster, I rallied there. Which was the wrong action. Let's go hand to hand with these guys.
Let's go.
Might run over the wrong hex. Yeah, we're absolutely running over the wrong hex.
Unsere Panzer kommen.
Prepare yourselves.
Fully rallied up.
Kannst du sie sehen?
Okay. The rest finally let our captain in. Messenger from Captain HQ over. Lieutenant Captain Camp wants you over at the command post now. We're wondering what the Nichols Company commander would be allowed to take part in. Wonder when the Nichols Company commander would be allowed to take part in the exercise. For whatever reason, that time is now. Find Captain Lamp, map in hand, with 3 other messengers. 1 each for second and third, and a weapons platoon. After he glances your way, he dismisses them. Them fellas really want to put us in a pickle, don't they? The refs delight in our torment. At least they claim to have a purpose, he says, and taps the map. The umpires say we need to take this hill, without taking too many casualties. What do I need to know? We're trying to move forward. They don't make it easy, Captain Lamp notes. Okay, we'll develop our plan. The plan. What are the sidelines? Indicate the hill sidelines. The hill does dominate, Captain Lamp remarks. Not that they've got a machine gun. So they've got an MG that outranges our rifles, Lamp notes, and they've probably got even more scrolled away. Indicate the extent of cover. Cover is good for us, but also good for the M. Anything else, Lamp asks. And let's get to it, Captain Lamb says. And let's slide an eager smile, and let's slip in an eager smile that stirs your man to action. Yes, sir. Move out, Captain Lamb says. With that, you return to the platoon. For the first time in a long while, the entire company is training together. Captain Lamb. Okay. Let's rally these boys.
They can't keep us down.
We have lost line of sight of these guys. Nothing happens. Okay. Okay, we suppress them a bit, they suppressed us a bit. Wait, whose turn is it now? That's a bit confusing. Okay. Oh, this guy has... a good position now. Okay. Let's suppress them here. Heavily suppressed. And let's get you. How? Oh yeah, right. The first days already. Let's creep you back. Okay. Oh. This is an annoying position. These guys go low on morale. Okay.
Form up.
13 now. They seem to be low now. What? You failed it again? Shit, Sergeant says. Sergeant Grant says, as you discuss, other refs recently decided that some of the men were not sufficiently motivated. We need to get them in order before we try that again. But they have good morale. Okay, don't know. These guys don't. You move over here.
Duncan, I'm counting on you.
That's flanking morale.
Move it.
Okay. Oh, this is evil. Oh no. No. Hmm.
Nicht verteilen.
Let's rally you guys again. Just to be pinned down again. 11 turns. Wonder what tricks they've got planned for us up ahead, Grant says. If we consider terrain and the map. The way Bennett tells it, the fellows who write these exercises always like trying to be clever. The enemy is prepared and has chosen this ground for a specific reason. And Red Hand's teams. Runner races over and mentions early for the Empire's attention, naturally gives it. Naturally, Sergeant Bennett slips over to you. He certainly doesn't look dead. How are you holding up, Lieutenant? You haven't taken the crossroads yet. Noticed the umpires have too. And I've overheard a few things, Sergeant Bennett says, and leans in. Cannot talk about how they work, and especially this field problem. As well as solution. Can't talk about how they work. Okay. Orders. All of that works out. Good talk, Lieutenant. Okay. Okay, fully suppressed.
Come on.
They're at 13.
Come on, get those back. Drop packs. Charge.
This time we got them. Finally.
Light 'em up.
No, we didn't activate these guys. Okay. Wait, what was that? Lieutenant Protoss is leading. Okay, yeah. Do we want to activate these guys? I think we do.
With me, pronto.
Oh wait, we moved the other guys with us. Okay. That's fine. Okay. They now can fire on these guys. They're cowering. We're not doing anything more to them. Okay, target can't be further suppressed. This is annoying. Wait, there's a second? Oh, that's a mortar team. Ah, we have already both of our other guys up there. Still doesn't work out. Can we fire on this machine gun? Yeah, we can. Can these fire on this machine gun? No. Let's try to get these guys up to this hill. And we can't fire the mortar on anything. I kind of want to move. But no, we're gonna keep that for next round.
The only way out is through.
Let's get that done. And let's have you order these guys forward. So we have a bit more of a force here. And then we're likely going to get mortared here in a second. Can't fire anymore. Okay. You... Wait, what? You even can fire mortars into bushes? Let's move the mortar team up. And let's end turn. And we get mortared. Artillery is now available to your company. The field umpire indicates and gestures to the radioman. Captain Lamb will call in the coordinates as he would in the field. We will rule for delays and accuracy of fire as needed. This includes possible issues with communication. Big guns, Sergeant Grant remarks. It's about time. Okay, he can lead again now, which is good. How's the morale here? Okay.
Keep at him.
$50 if that morale check gets through. We failed. Yeah, we can't call artillery here yet.
Let's get moving.
Oops. Just the captain. Let's call in artillery. Oh, come on, Undaunted, really? Yeah, our morale here is too low. Okay. Can't fully push them this way. Could push these guys in here. I think that's for our other formation. We won't have them out in the open. I think we're just gonna...
Get your ass in gear!
Can't be further suppressed, that's fine. And leader route. Okay. Can't charge them. Too far and too low morale. Okay. These guys did well.
We're gonna pound them flat!
Okay, just move you guys up.
Hurry up!
Suspicious barn. Okay. You can't see everything, and the enemies can't either. Okay. These guys will come up to us. We can shoot them here, maybe create some casualties. Can't shoot them up there. And we can't be suppressed further. That's fine. Okay. You guys get into position up there. Right. Ah! Nope. That wasn't what I was planning. They don't do any stress damage. Yeah, but we want to keep them. Want to keep them low. Okay, should have gone for this guy instead. Well, we once more rally these bad boys. Who just are suffering there. Just got the word, Lieutenant. They got mortars hidden nearby, Sergeant Grant says. Two of you considered terrain and the map. If Bennett thought you anything, it's that they'll pace us as soon as we stop into the open. Okay. Can you call in artillery fire on these guys? No. Let's go hand to hand with a side charge.
We gotta get him!
And they surrender. Beautiful. Get away from this position.
Let's get back out there!
And let's move our whole formation there. This is just the officer. I can't charge them though.
Find a target!
Right, this is Vichy front. Okay. Okay. Could you potentially shoot these? Yes. Okay. Okay, still can't hit that spot. Oh, we got them there. With our mortar. Okay. Good job, guys. And lead around. Oh. Let's suppress these guys further. Let's get these guys closer. And let's go hand to hand. No, we failed. Okay. These guys are pretty stuck over there. So let's get them rallied. Okay. Let's get them bolstered then at least.
Let's go kick some tuchus.
I already bolstered, okay. Then... Okay, we already moved these guys up. We move over here. Rally the boys. And you move on over here. Get up there quickly. And you try to get up to the squad. And then... Yeah, we are not in range for this. Do you have enough for this? Yes. Okay. Go hand to hand. And let's get them surrendered. Good job. Finally can move up these guys again. This would be a frontal charge. Yeah. Somewhat unlikely. Let's get you closer for now. And let's get these boys. All of a sudden, Lieutenant Deer 1 stands up, signaling the referees for a timeout as he strides toward. With respect to our judges, we must protest the parameters of this exercise, Lieutenant Deer 1 declares. He pulls out a pack of smokes. That damnable set of mortars opposing us fires with an alacrity and accuracy which might well be supernatural. It's an exercise. What did you expect? The potential for a reasonable solution for one, Tier 1 replies. The machine gun at the top of the hill is so well sighted that a prudent commander would surely bypass this approach rather than beating their head against it like Burnside at Fredericksburg. We have no smoke, we have no planes or sustained artillery. There are tools warranted for the resolution of a problem such as this, when we have been allowed none of them. What do you want me to do? Complain? Maybe that's a point. A trial of character. An elevation of coolness under adversary. perhaps. Dearborn considers. I had not considered that the army would understand these things, but clearly we could. Indeed, now that the idea lies in the open, I can't see why this exercise would be so arranged. Let us proceed. At your dismissal, Dearborn heads off. When he reaches his men, he signals again to the umpires that they can continue the exercise. Hate to say it, but he does have a point, Sergeant Grant says to you. The enemy picks the ground when they are playing defense. Bennett would always say that it's their battlefield. We are just fighting on it. Maybe it won't always be that way, but we got to expect it will be. It's our burden, I guess. Let's roll the credits again. Yeah, Lieutenant Sergeant says. Guess we ought to be that to get it. Trial of character. Here we go. Look to Sergeant Grant and find him waiting for orders. Dearborn sure is undaunted at our prospect against DMG. Lieutenant Sergeant Grant remarks slightly beside you. He's not wrong. While soldiers are trained to take cover at the first crack of a rifle round, sometimes it's better to keep moving, to reach good cover or even close with the enemy and so despite incoming fire. However, that gusto doesn't prevent casualties. The umpires are fond of saying that bullets don't consider bravery in the equation before they hit. Training is important, experience more so. Green troops are vulnerable and will remain so until they become veterans. A shrill whistle blows. The exercise resumes. Let's get these guys moving. And let's end the turn. The field umpire checks his watch and shakes his head. You have passed the mark. Your company no longer claim complete success. However, victory might still be had if you push forward. So they've got mortars, Sergeant Grant says, as he eyes the umpire flag. The umps are raising their flags when we push forward. That means they're close, maybe on the reverse slope somewhere. We gotta find those guns and silence them. What's the morale of these guys? 9. Okay, that's a 50-50 check. No. Let's go with this. They don't seem to be that suppressed yet. They are undaunted there. Target heavily suppressed, okay. That might also create casualties. Nope, it doesn't. Yeah. I get that. No, that's not a good morale check. This one is better.
Sweet Jesus, let's go!
Okay, we take them, but we take casualties. Let's go. Failed. Okay, that's fine. These guys are suppressed, so that's fine as well.
Lace up your boondockers. We're finishing this.
And let's charge in there.
Let's go.
Okay, we got him. The runner races from second platoon. Lieutenant Wilson, the runner says between hard breaths, suggests taking the enemy machine gun under fire, probing for supporting squads. With the support of the weapon platoon, we can eventually create a flank via fire and maneuver. We need to keep moving. The messenger blinks. Grant clears its throat. Lieutenant, that enemy MG is going to cause us a lot of problems if we don't figure out what they have up here. We'll have to do it by figuring things out. They open fire. Hell, it's recon by fire either way. Ours or there. And Wilson is waiting for you for orders to coordinate fire and movement. Okay, we will consider that. But we just finished the DMG, so that came in a bit late. Wait, if we fire on our own? Yeah, we can't do that. Okay. We know. Huh? Oh, we didn't capture the second one yet. This one doesn't count as captured yet. Okay. The whistle blows, smoke drifts, shout cease. With both objectives in hand, the exercise is over. We got it done after all. Mission minor victory. Man, major victory.
"7 decades ago, we were all so young, full of piss and vinegar, as they say, ready for the great crusade which lay ahead of us. We were out for payback because of the Japanese sneak attack on Pearl Harbor, some far-off place many of us had never even heard of prior to December 7th, 1941.
And I finished out that school year and enlisted in the Army in 1942.
The exercise ends. We did a decent job there. This is an informal report to be given to your Captain Lamb. Nickel Company completed the exercise within acceptable parameters, the field umpire says, as he reviews his note. He's impressed, Sergeant Bennett says, clearly glad to be counted as back amongst the living. But can't show it. I can. Next, the field umpire says, lifts up paper on his clipboard. Your riflemen moved up quickly. They were on schedule to the midway point. The killing ground before the hill proved to be a relatively minor hindrance. The final approach occurred when expected. It means you actually made the difference, Sergeant Bennett remarks softly. The field umpire shovels his paper. The efforts against the mortars were dilatory and unfocused, he notes. It came amid the expected duration. Sergeant Bennett doesn't clear at the men. Not quite. The wind blows. The stuttering call of a machine gun, a real one, echoes in the distance. My report on the deficiencies of Nickel Company's performance will be submitted formally to your Captain Lamb by the end of the day, the field umpire says. This is all. Permission to speak? Sergeant Bennett asks. Denied, field umpire replies. Dismissed. Sure, it will be fine. I admire the optimism, Sergeant Bennett says, but the asshole was looking for an excuse to rile you up. Just think it built characters. Shit like that, Lieutenant. I'll stay optimistic. Maybe it'll blow over. Maybe they just want to shake your tent a bit. Make sure you're awake, Bandit says. By the way, there's dinner waiting, and you've got a report to deliver. Have Grant get the men into column. Okay, get the men into column. Bandit, with Grant's help, swiftly gets things together. 2 sergeants are, after all, better than 1. Once your platoon is assembled, you lead the way on the march. Really, you all tramp back down the road. You came up from earlier day. Eventually, Morris and Patterson start up a little dirty cadence about walking in Louisiana. The pace picks up. They know that dinner is waiting. A short march, a hot dinner, and then it will be time to sleep. Tomorrow's yet another day. Camp Picket, 25th. What? What is that? Is that a Tommy gun with a... This is a Tommy gun with a drum magazine. That's some writing. Nice staged picture there. I want to get first squad of these guys up. And then so we have a bit of veterancy spread around. These guys are now at vet. Improves units fire, movement, and morale checks. Also increased likelihood of undaunted. Nice. Let's continue our march into action. September, Virginia. Ooh. Got tanks now.
So the 6 of us go downtown Bloomington, Indiana, for Indiana University. We're all going to join the Marines. Well, I still only weighed about 123 or 124 pounds, and I was 5'11", 6 foot tall. And the recruiter sort of hum-hawed around and said, well, we're filled up right now. You come back in 6 months. So we were sort of, all of us were tall, skinny, I guess. So we all went downtown, a couple blocks downtown Bloomington, walked in the recruiting office, Army, sat down, and the recruiter just gave us a piece of paper that says, sign here. It was that simple.
26th of December, Camp Picket. Saturday morning, trouble in the barracks. Specifically, 6 cartons of rations were found stashed in the ceiling. No cigarettes, no candies, no biscuits, Sergeant Bennett notes. The 2 of you sort through the cardboard cartons. They left the meat cans. Guess they weren't hungry for anything but sweets at 6. Someone will have to answer for this theft, and no one has stopped forward except for to take responsibility for it. Let's punish them as a whole. Stealing is a crime. The men are well fed for the mess hall. Taking K rations, field rations was completely unnecessary. The thieves just didn't want to pay for anything from the commissary. Since the men undoubtedly know who did this and none of them have come forward, can all be punished together. Schedule an additional guard. Schedule a heavy fire watched overnight. The men are punished and some will gain a little experience. Schedule a full pack march for tonight, Saturday. No, let's put them onto guard duties. Brief groan sweeps through the platoon as you announce the doubling of guard duties. They'll cut into their free time unless they want to lose sleep time. We're losing good sleep because of bad thieves, Morris mutters until his brief breath to his pal. Yeah, hiding the cans up in the ceiling never works for long, Patterson replies. Idiots. Come to start of the next week, you and Bennett watch the weary men march past while Sergeant Grant calls cadence. They are two lean rows to review, their full packs and rifles swaying beneath a colorful canopy. A fine Virginia day for March, with blue skies and cooling wind. We've come a long way. This is just the end of the beginning. You fall beside them, your own gait matching their own. Along the nearby road, you see the other officers of Nickel Company talking in the shade of a big oak tree, their own platoons resting nearby. Can't say either way, Wilson says to Dearborn and Stern, his voice just barely edging above the marching sounds. Never know until you hear the first bullet snap. Eavesdrop a while longer. Indeed, Dearborn replies. Battle is the only way to separate gold from dross, and our diligent lieutenant has yet to feel the heat. Stern stays notably silent. None of them quite glance your way when you finally approach. The cough of an engine breaks up the thump of boots as a tank is in the dark army green rattles down the road. Your men split off to either side and salute. Perched atop the oncoming tank is your company commander, Captain Lamb. Returns the salute of your men, and then, once the tank clatters to a halt, clamps down. Lieutenant, the army is fixing to provide additional training for Nickel Company. There will be an armored integration exercise, Captain Lamb says, his customary Texas drawl. The men have been chosen to fight alongside actual tanks. Glad someone remembered about tanks, sir. Helps that half of Fox Company came down with a rash and we're next in line. Lamb says, your record recommended your platoon to his training, and I admire how you keep a firm grasp on them when need be. There's been some talk about having you train more platoons here in the States, but there are plenty of other officers for that. Let's grip the hide of this one. The men are to march on over for final field problem, Lamb says, but you will guide this beast to the training ground to get an idea of what a tank can do. Now pay special attention to the methods of our steely brethren, for they are a strange people. I heard that, a voice calls out from the hatch of the tank, barely topping the idling engine. A moment later, Scuffy tanker pops his head out, stares at you, and then Lamb. That's Sergeant Lintz, Lamb says, and neatly hides a grin, so you can see on the field. Lamb heads towards the gathering of Nickel Company officers stepping beneath the shade of big oak trees. Good division of labor. Leadership can be passed on by altered. Doing so smoothly is often the problem. You hop aboard the tank and take up a position behind the turret. There's after all no room inside for an extra man. The tanker, wearing recently sewn sergeant stripes, idly taps on the steel that virtually surrounds him. Okay, where to, Lieutenant? Sergeant Litz asks. The white stenciled name on the side of the turret reads Bandit. Our initial objective is across the river there, but maybe you want to take this scenic view. Well, the army calls it an M3 light tank. Most people call it a Stuart. We have our own name for it, Lynn says. But that's important. What's important is that the Bandit here has a 37mm, 3 machine guns, and burns gas like a fox in a hen house. Across the way, an umpire signals you. Time to start. Time for a Mississippi drive, Sergeant Listen says, and heads the rear of the cupola. Hang on tight to your chessboard. We'll be taking a few curves. Okay. Tanks cannot go reverse heavy wood. Tanks can pass through light wood. Hey, steel division system. Tanks can even pass through medium woods. Tanks are fine on road. Stone terrain is utterly impassable. Tanks cannot pass rocky. Yeah. Water across over here. Going into water is right out. Okay. Okay. Could press them, but that doesn't make much sense. Okay. Wait. Allows fire, ain't or normal. Moving vehicles cannot fire. Okay. Come on. Sunderland makes a great show of clearing his throat. The driver eases into neutral and lets the bandit coast to a halt. Sergeant Lind of green in front of you. Welcome to the range, Lieutenant. Sergeant Lind calls out over the din of the engine. In a few minutes, we get to take some shots for real. Van's little 37mm might seem like it's better suited for hunting squirrels, but it's got quite a kick. Get to the firing range. How do you want this? Lintz asked. I've given lift to plenty of officers and they all learn differently, so who are you really? A good question. Alright, what kind of leader am I? There are 8 different mindsets that a leader might employ to help them navigate the ever-present tension between man and mission. That often boils over into a crucible of war. Crucibles. Alright, tell me about mindsets. 3 are aggressive, doctrine, idealism, and zeal. 3 others are preventative, cunning, discipline, and caution. There are those centered specifically on the man or the mission, compassion and professionalism. Okay. Tell me about doctrine, idealism, or zeal. Doctrine pursues solution via army methods. Idealism focuses on inspiring the man. Zeal seeks to overcome trouble with vigorous effort. Cunning, discipline, and caution. Cunning adapts, exploits, and a new situation. Discipline focuses on regimentation, training, and training to maintain unit cohesion. Caution seeks to prevent the worst from happening. Compassion and professionalism. Compassion compels the man to create things by bonds of fellowship. Professionalism achieves success by utilizing the army system. Initial mindset. Leader's primary mindset influences what other mindsets they can learn. To the left of the wheel and 2 to the right of them. That means a given leader may invest in only 5 total. Okay. No leader can be everything. Each mindset has a passive ability and either an active ability or a company ability. If a leader possesses a mindset value greater than 2, then the mindset's ability become enabled and may employ a single active ability of any type only once per scenario. Captain may employ an active ability for each mindset that is enabled. Passive abilities may trigger repeatedly for any leader under certain circumstances. Company abilities trigger at the end of the scenario. Low value mindsets are just chrome. Mindsets can have a value no higher than 5. Furthermore, no more than 3 total mindsets may be enabled with a value greater than 2. For example, Lieutenant Dearborn might have these mindsets available to him. Idealism 0, not enabled, 2, 5 cunning, 4 and 3. Attainable mindsets, unattainable mindsets. Yeah. 5 possible mindsets, 3 enabled. Undergoing a crucible may allow that leader fire. Okay, consider compassion, caution, discipline. Zeal, idealism. The idealism, zeal, and doctrine. Caution. No, caution is down here. Compassion. Oh boy, what a choice. Zeal was over here somewhere. Idealism. Iron Hearts? No. Consider compassion, caution. Not the army way. Then we go with professionalism. Or cunning. Let's go with professionalism. Say the army runs on coffee, but its leadership runs on reputation. If you want your men to get the best, you have to show that they are worth it to your superiors. That means cultivating relationships and working the system. This squeaky wheel doesn't get the grease, gets replaced. Influence, company ability. Cultivating respect of superiors means prestige points. Are plus 15 for lieutenant and plus 20 for captain. Increases to plus 30 and 30 higher. However, this focus on superiors means less time for the men. The officer gains trust, the reduced rate. Sustained barrage, passive ability. Gain more artillery support on occasion. Off-web artillery you spotted for is not withdrawn when it would have been. That's good. I take that. As if we're idealistic about this. Lord. I mean, we can have a look at what idealism would get us. Beacon in the dark. Men fight for many things. Money, power, or prestige. But they will also fight for an ideal. And you can't kill ideas. Not really. If you stoke that ideal, then the man will fight through immense privation. Grandstand. The officer stands up within weapons range of an enemy unit. This outrageous and courageous action rallies all friendly units within 3 hexes in a line of sight. So also retain at least one order. However, there is a 15% chance to become a casualty. Inspire. Passive ability. Occasionally, if this officer stacks with a friendly unit with higher than 4 suppression, rally them, restore an order, then bolster both for free. Nope. Nope. No. We go with professionalism. We do our job the way it's supposed to be done. And then guys might get out of this alive. That will do for now. Target practice. On the way, Sergeant Lynn says and gives his drivers a nudge with his foot to shift back into gear. Best part of the day for us. Not so great for the trucks, but not everyone can be the winner. Direct us to that course and we'll blow something up. The bandit crests a rise. The flag goes up across the way. The referee holding it levels the familiar banner towards you. Killed by enemy action, Mac, Sergeant Lynn says and shrugs. You ordered me to move in plain view, and another way might conceal your movement. I mean, tanks can't hide like infantry can. The bandit here isn't going to get tuckered out like the either. Safest way is the safer road. I get it. Just move on. We signal Linz to keep moving, and after he gives his driver a little kick, the dead tank motors onward. The shooting range is just ahead. The tank passes by a familiar captain with a clipboard and a referee's armband. He slowly shakes his head and marks something down with a definitive stroke of a pencil before he waves you through. Yeah, we died. We get it, Sergeant Linz notes above the rumble of the engine. That fella gets most of us at least once. Always use a covered approach when practical. The bandit clatters to a halt. In the distance are several burned out trucks, each atop a separate concrete slabs. The ruined hulks are just sitting there, waiting to be hit. There's a lot that goes into taking a shot, Sergeant Linz tells you as his gunner cranks the turret around to align it on the truck to the right. Accuracy sucks pond stones if we are moving. We have to call a short halt if we're going to open fire. If the target is moving, things get dicey. If we can take time to aim all proper light, we've got a better chance of putting around where it hurts. The gunners move into position behind the cannon, shifting it about the last few degrees towards the burned out truck. The role of the range is fire first, hit your marks, and go deep. Sergeant says everything else is frosting on the cake. British lorry burning on Crete following a Luftwaffe attack, which courtesy of the Imperial War Museum. Where's the fire? Don't see it burning. Burnt out, I guess. Let's take a shot. The gunner loads in a blue striped shell and closes the breech. Okay. Shoot the truck. Tanks can't shoot again immediately after shooting the first ram. They'll have to move them or end the turn first. This makes veteran tanks crews with 3 orders especially prized since they can shoot, move, shoot. Okay. Linz waits for your command to open fire. Can't shoot at that. No. Hold. Gunner hikes truck ahead. My command, Sergeant Linz sounds off after you give the order. How the gunner hears him over this din is a question answered by his headset connection to the intercom. Fire. The cannon cracks, the round slams down the range and buries itself into the burned out truck. The explosion follows. That's high explosive, Sergeant Linz calls over to you despite your ringing ears. We've also got shot for armor targets. Let's prepare to fire at the next target. Aim shot this time, Sergeant Linz asks. Takes a bit longer, but we generally hit what we aim at. And the range hounds don't mind how long we take, just so long as we don't waste. Okay. Aimed fire. Right. Now we can't aim fire. There's ever so much to learn, but the army supplies plenty of manuals in addition to the exercise like this one. Have you opened the Bocopia? Keep forgetting to do that. Understandable. Many here will eat, not to read. But if you can, take a moment to click on the button and pursue the content there. It will tell you a great deal about the game and hopefully provide a few laughs too. Little target practice. Aimed, shot, fire. Okay, that's next. What's next? Sergeant Lynch works with his gunner to find the proper range. Figure out the drop of the shell and then elevate the barrel. Finally, the gunner squeezes the trigger. The round slams out and bounces off the distant target. Nearby referee raises a blue flag. Good hit, Sergeant Lynch declares. That's a shooting drill. British lorry burning on Crete. Yeah, this is a real burning one. Big oof. Are the rounds supposed to bounce like that? Practice rounds are, Lynch says, and have the slim 37mm round from Bellow. It has a white blue band about the barrels and a white lettering that boldly indicates, among other things, that it is for range use only. No sense using the good stuff to break something we'd have to replace. But don't you worry, when the time comes, we'll choose the best round for the target. We'll see that shortly when we go to play with others. Okay. Lynch waits for your commands. Ah. The bandit lurches to a halt. Ahead of you, see squads shifting about mid-low cover. They all got red armbands. That makes them enemies. It's an ambush, Sergeant Lynch calls back. The other crewmen let out a chorus of unsurprised chuckles. We're ever so lucky we spotted them. Could have been a mess even if they don't have AT guns up front. Time to reverse into protected position and wait for support. Okay, let's reverse out of here. And they can still throw flour on my nice clean hull, Sergeant Lynch calls back and then adds, that's what they use instead of grenades. That stuff's sticky. Plus, there's infantry, there's bigger guns. And I don't want to get killed again. That's their doctrine. Dangle something tasty in the front of the tank, get them to commit, then whack him. Nearby referee motions with flag. Yeah, Sergeant Lynch yells at him. We're going to back in a minute. Press the reverse button to move the tank backward without turning the units around. That will keep the armor and the cannon facing the enemy. Good thing. Okay. Tank reverses down the slope and out of sight of the infantry. Even if they do appear, there are those stone walls to soak up some fire. We're in position, Sergeant Lynch calls out. Now we can wait for your boys to show. Tanks can't assault enemy positions after all. That's infantry jobs. So combine arms attack. That's the idea, Sergeant Lynch says. It was good to have you, but now, Lieutenant, you should rejoin your fellow foots. See you around, Lynch. You hop off the bandit. Nearby umpire quickly lays out an objective. Where are my boys? Oh, there are my boys. Okay. Oh, the tank is leading already. Okay. Can't fire on these guys. Okay. Can we flank it? Ah! That's potential evil. Okay. We have the high ground. Okay, we did our job here. This is excellent cover. Let's creep into there. This is good cover. Let's creep into there. Okay, found the second MG as well.
Hello, LT. It's Luke, breaking through the fourth wall one last time to wish you good luck. Things are about to get real.
Okay.
The burden of command, the tension between
Hey,
you and the
Komaka.
mission is about to increase. Your opponents will become more capable. So I'm wishing you the best of luck in making those difficult decisions. For making it through this campaign in this war, and for having an engaging experience. But more, I hope, and the vets who are on this team also hope, it will connect you to those who have served, not only in recent wars, but in World War II, like my own mother and father. I'll leave you with the thoughts of your division commander, General Truscott.
Then Lucian Truscott turned his back on the living and instead of face the dead. It was, wrote eyewitness Bill Malden, the most moving gesture I ever saw. Spoke to the thousands who lay beneath the ranks of Latin crosses and stars of David. He apologized to that man for their presence here. He said, everybody tells leaders it is not their fault that the man got killed. Huh?
Hello, LT.
Ah! I wanna... You went to this too fast. It's all not together true, he said. He hoped anything here through any mistakes of his would forgive him. But he realized that was asking a hell of a lot under the circumstances. He promised that if in the future he ran into anybody, especially old men, thought death in battle was glorious, he would straighten them out. It's time to finish our training. Named significantly drops, uses 2 orders. Oh, we actually might have inflicted casualties there. Alright, we can't shoot again. Wait, we have a mortar after all. Where did the mortar come from? Oh, there's an MG over there as well. What's the line of sight of that MG? That MG has actually a pretty gnarly line of sight.
Sammeln! Auf geht's, ihr Frontschweine!
Okay. Oh.
Don't let me down!
Suppress them. Okay. Let's suppress these guys as well. They might return fire. Nope. Okay, that's good. What is the chances of his charge here? Not good. Want to suppress these guys. Potential casualties. Okay. Decent charge capacity. Let's get in there. No resistance. Good. Can we repeat this here? No. Oh, right. We still need to fire on these guys as well.
Make me proud.
We haven't seen an anti-tank gun yet. Let's bolster these guys. I should have moved them even one further. Well, we'll move them now. Between these two. Still have some turtles left. Can you fire on these? No, but you can't fire on these, which still need to be suppressed. Well, oh no, they're already suppressed, but we suppress them further. Get close in there.
Like my brother. Boot polish is the only cure.
Nice.
Worst piece of shit I ever had.
Let's bolster them.
Form up.
And let's charge. Come on. We can do it. No resistance. Nice.
Let's get going.
Okay, we are spent. Could take charge over these guys here. Huh? Wait, what? Pin them down, right?
Sweet Jesus, let's go!
Nice. Got the MG squad. Okay.
Hey, Kaugummi-Soldaten!
Okay. Huh? No. Just a normal shot will do. And then we can move these guys up. Let's call in mortar fire on these guys. And let's pin these guys down. Bolster these guys.
You gonna let an old man do all the work?
And let's get in there for the charge.
Fuller?
We failed? Really? Yeah, 50-50 chance. We take it. We failed. Happens.
We're not licked yet.
Okay. Come on.
Duncan, I'm counting on you.
Get in there, guys. Okay, that worked. Cry of victory goes up. The objective is taken. We got him, boys. Sergeant Bennett calls out. Red team just lost again, Sergeant Grant notes. Then the men of Nickel Company cheer weirdly and gather around. The tank likewise draws near, chewing up the ground as it goes. No, 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 the field umpire shouts as he moves up to the tank, smacks its side twice, then holds the muddy lever. You'll get bogged down. He's not wrong, Sergeant Bennett notes, as the two of you walk over to hear the official results from the latest exercise. Once more, the field umpire turns to you with clipboard in hand. Behind him, the tank slips into reverse. The field umpire is slow to realize his looming fate. Bennett pushes the officer out of the way of the grinding with treads. But the treads don't stop clawing backward. Bennett falls into the path. Oh shit. Shit. Let's leap onto the tank and pound onto the hatch, guys. Let's get this guy to stop. You leap atop the tank and slip right off. Your hand flails. Bone crunches near and far. Agony explodes and consumes you. Medic, Sergeant Grant calls out as the tank rolls on and the world turns dark. Medic, right damn now. Sergeant Bennett has died. Fuck. Successfully licked. There they get you guys. At the goddamn training field. Sergeant Bennett perished. Wake up. Your eyes snapped open. The missing finger on your hand burns. Captain Lamb looms above. His aquiline features pale in the naked lights of the cramped wardroom. You okay, he asks? The shared pain from the training accident is still written in his eyes, even after those busy weeks. It's time to get up, Lieutenant. The final briefing is in 5 minutes. Take a deep breath. Rust, sea, sweat come with the breath. Captain Lamb extends a hand to help you to your feet. The subtle shift of the ship beneath your boats nearly make you stumble. A creak of the hull, followed by a low moan of protesting steel. It's an unpleasant reminder that home is now far away. 8th November 1942, off Morocco. The ship creaks and groans as you flex your hand. Lamb leads the way aft toward the briefing room of the Tasker H. Bliss. You're grown used to the old troop ship's complaints during the crossing, but you won't have to put up with it for too much longer. I just won't try land. You know you're still having a bad time with what happened to Bennett. I know you're still having a bad time with what happened to Bennett, Captain Lamb says. The two of you walk through the busy corridors lined with empty brackets and torn screws. Remnants of the furniture that used to clutter the halls of the Bliss in its past life as a liner. You all are, but the injury isn't. His death is over. But the inquiry into his death is over. Leave it there. I heard he had a girl, but I couldn't find her. Combat fatigue 10. I cleared me legally, not morally. Called his wife and told her. I called his wife and told her. Called her from a blacked out base and told her, Captain Lamb says, then shakes off the thought. Can't have heard that right. We'll write the proper condolence letter later. Letter after your boots are dry. But right now I need you to focus, Lieutenant. Make Bennett's death worth something more. Fought hard for you. Stay with the company because I know you have what this war will take. Get it, sir. I won't let you or them down. And we all got something to prove out there. Captain Lamb says as he turns to face you, while a team of crewmen carry a man on a stretcher past. Wounded man's arms lies at a hard angle, and white bones just out. Not a single boat has been lowered, and now we better focus on doing just that. He grasps your shoulder, gives it a fatally squeeze. His resolution is impossible to miss. Shouts arise from on deck. Deck packed with soldiers, guns, and ordnance. Never ends, does it? Captain Lamb mutters as he hurries up the ladder, leaving you alone at the threshold of the briefing room. Captains, in a hurry, you hear Private Roberts say. Above the dine of the nearby mess hall, the enlisted man cradles a massive tin filled to the brim with what could charitably be called potatoes and eggs. The stuff is only edible due to a layer of ketchup. Even the worst of Sergeant Layton's cooking had been better than what the Navy's galleys serves here. Big oof situation still. Have to expect that with Lamb. Private Kenhock replies to his fellow private, an equally ketchup-drenched mess tin in hand. He needs to keep busy. Why is that? Private Roberts asks his friend, confusion edging into his features. Well, word is Lamb's old man really screwed up back in the last big one, Private Hancock says, then darts to a theatrical glance left and right. Got hundreds killed in France, or something like that. Hope it doesn't run into the family. Then in the distance the soldiers begins to recite a speech. General Patton's speech, mimicking the general's piercing voice. Confront the pair about gossiping. You approach Hancock. We are, after all, professional. You approach Hancock with your most intimidating gaze. The man's eyes look upon your maimed hand as you inform him of your views of gossiping. Robert gets his share of things by mere proximity. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir, Private Hancock manages to stutter out once you finally let him apologize. We'll eat on deck. Lieutenant quietly, Private Robert says and hurriedly tugs at his friend's sleeve. Lieutenant, a familiar voice. Familiar voice falls from behind you as the two privates disappear. You turn to see Sergeant Grant, his features tight with their usual strain. He steps into the corridor's sparse light. In his sinewy hands, he cradles a cup of steaming dark liquid that doesn't clog the nose like his usual black straps coffee. Captain thought you could use this, he explains. So no second nap? We are not sarcasm. He's right. I'll see my commissioned forecup. No sarcasm, directness is our way. Army men aren't made for ships. Leave the sailing to the swappies, Sergeant Grant says. He passes the cup. Strangely, the coffee is a rich brown instead of the usual tar-like horror that the crew the Bliss normally brews. Its warmth in your hands proves a welcome ally against the night's chill. Nickel Company's other lieutenants are already seated when you step through the door. The briefing room, really just a cleared section of the cargo hold, grows crowded as the officers from 3rd Battalion trickle in. Everyone seems eager to know if any of the plan has changed. And the briefing as ordered. A hush fills the room as your battalion commander, Major Eugene Cloud, steps beside a chalkboard filled with times, movement arrows, and unit symbols. The Major idly brushes a hand against his cold gold oak sleeves insignia, then glances pointedly at Sergeant Grant. The NCO briskly steps back into the corridor. The other lieutenants quickly take seats, crowded together by the companies. Join up. It's time. A long trip on this most pleasant. It's been a long trip on this most pleasant of luxury liners. Major Cloud remarks, letting a scattering of nervous laughter from the other officers fade before he swings his pointer towards the largest of the maps. But here we are, gentlemen. Welcome to French Morocco. Sleep if I can. Sip my coffee and listen. Glance at the other officers in my company. Sergeant in the First World War, and an officer in this one. Lieutenant Wilson stares ahead with glazed disinterest, as if he already knows what Major Cloud is going to say. Then again, considering the multiple decades that the 2nd Platoon commander has been in the army, wouldn't be surprised if he did. Major Cloud pointer sticks. Major Cloud's pointer stick smacks against the map pinned beside the chalkboard. A slice of Morocco is inked there, though the details are sparse. At 04:45 hours, our regiment will land as part of the 3rd Infantry Division under Major General Patton. Our objective is to subdue all French, that is to say Vichy French, forces in Morocco. Particular 3rd Battalion will be landed last as a reserve to assist the 1st and 2nd Battalion in the efforts to seize the key fortifications and coastal batteries here. The tip of his pointer slides over to the arc of a sheltered harbor near a small port town called Fedala. We're sitting things out. We're not on the first wave, are we, sir? We are here for directness, so let's go. The Major flashes you a grin that is far from friendly. Keep your questions until the end, Lieutenant. The tip of his pointer, Major Cloud, outlines the landing beaches Red 3, Red 2, and Red 1. The last of which is where your company will come ashore. This is America's first operation in the Western Theater. We cannot afford to foul this up, Major Cloud declares. We have surprises. We'll use it to overwhelm the Vichy and Fedala before Casablanca can send reinforcements. Until our artillery lands, the Navy will lend us their guns. For air power, we have the planes of the USS Ranger. Sip my coffee and wait patiently. Coffee is almost cold now, but there's enough sugar to keep it drinkable. The pointer slides inland and taps against possible enemy concentrations. Most of the French soldiers posted here are colonial troops, so they might not want to fight for Marshal Pétain. The Major continues, but if they do, don't hesitate to open fire. Speed is key. Pointer races the expected line of advance from the landing zone through Fedala and onto Casablanca. Stated, 1st and 2nd Battalion will form the initial waves. N Company, Major Cloud says, looks at you, will act as guides and secure a landing zone for the rest of 3rd Battalion. When we go ashore an hour after the initial landings, if there are problems and once ashore, it falls to us to step up out of reserve and pick up the slack. Any question, command? Yes, he eyes you pointedly. That's your cue, Lieutenant. Once off the beach and inland. Keep going to Fedala and even to Casablanca, hell. Keep marching until you reach Berlin, if you can, Major Cloud says. There'll be a medal for that promise. A scattered chuckle rises from the assembled officers. The silence broken, the questions start coming in. Others ask about the likelihood of the French surrendering. Minimal. And how to deal with the enemy armor. Difficult. Our anti-tank guns will penetrate armor just fine, the Major insists. Just don't believe those old training films when they say you can fight them off with heavy machine guns. What about civilians? Captain Lamb asks as he steps through the door. Hands are blackened by oil, grease that a wreck can't quite clean. Sits beside you, reeking of the sea salt, saying, "Avoid civilians when possible and prevent casualties. We are liberators, not conquerors." "What is it, Captain?" "I was just on deck, Lieutenant Howard. My executive officer just got his hand crushed in a cleat," Captain Lamb says, without taking his eyes off the Major. "Nickel Company is going into battle, and I need someone to handle the back off." "Now?" Major Cloud asks, clearly less than thrilled with the idea of venue for the discussion. "We're on the first wave. We start landing in half an hour," Captain Lamb says. The Major's gaze sweeps through the room as he seeks a quick answer to the problem. Ooh. Whew. We could join in the front fight. No. We do it professional. We volunteer, but we don't rush for it. Major Cloud tenders you a little nod of gratitude before he looks back to Lamb. Yes, your talkative answer. "No, sir. I'd rather not rob Peter to pay Paul," Captain Lamb says. "My platoons need leaders. No, I'm down an experienced first sergeant already, and now his replacement is in sick bay with a burning fever. That's why my XO has to do the loading. Only now I don't have an XO. Major, I've got to have someone who can take the initiative with the company while I'm otherwise engaged." Major Cloud shakes his head. "Then you'll have to wear both hats, Eli. Can't spare anyone." Captain Lamb tenders his superior officer resigned, if understanding, nod. "And that seems to be that for your chance to become XO." Major Cloud glances at his watch. "It is now nearly midnight," he announces as he looks back up. "Start loading boats at 00:15 hours, and God willing, we'll be moving inland before sunrise at 0600. Get your men ready on deck. Dismissed." Beneath a midnight sky, your platoon clambers down the nets into the shadowed hull of the Higgins boat. One by one, their boots set foot on the plywood shell of the landing craft with muffled thumps. 30 men packed into one fragile hull. "Dang it," Corporal Crossley shouts as he slips on the gunwale of the landing boat. His arms pinwheel as he tries to keep his balance. Sergeant Grant's arms shoots out, grabbing the man and hauling him into the boat. But Crossley's bar, the squad's only automatic rifle, flies from his shoulder. "Come on." The weapon clatters against the hull as it slides towards the stern. Just before it plunges into the deep, the strap is caught by a cleat on the outer hull. It dangles there, just inches above the inky water, between the landing craft and the rusted bulk of the Tasker H. Bliss. "Didn't you hear, Crossley?" Patterson cracks in the darkness. "They canceled gymnastics at the Olympics." Platoon chuckles nervously as the bar gunner rises. "The boat due to depart in a few minutes. There's no time to draw a replacement weapon. But the bar, your squad is down to their rifles, and as Morris pointedly noted by the padding at Crossley's sheets, bayonets." "Good to know things haven't changed much." Sergeant Grant hauls Crossley over, jaw clenched at the latest of screws up before you even hit the beach. "Here and now is a fresh chance to lead your men. Really lead in something other than the peacetime army. The question is, new lessons or old habits?" Crossley looks at you apologetically. "Sorry, LT," he mumbles just above the idle drum of the engine. The Higgins boat thumps again the ship's hull, threatening to dislodge the weapon and possibly crush anyone unlucky enough to get caught between the two vessels. It'll look good if I do this. Corporal, fix this or hell will be paid. So it'll go look if I do this. Lieutenant, Brent asks tentatively as you pass him your helmet and ease onto the stern. Everyone at the boat is watching you. Of course, even the jaded naval coxswain. They better remember this, because you'll only do it once. The deck is pitching and the hull of the transport looms perilously close. The feeble blackout lamps flicker amid the gloom. The stern rises and falls with each swell. You creep forward and reach a hand toward the errant weapon. The strap is wedged tight, but you manage to work it free. Bit by bit, you pull the automatic rifle back aboard. When you drop back onto the deck with the tripping weapon, a round of cheers erupts, followed by light laughter when you return the bar to the offending corporal with a flourish. There. Verbosity and sarcasm go down. Directness up. Thank you, Lieutenant. Corporal coarsely stammers. I won't let you down. Again, you look over just in time to see Sergeant Grant and the last of your men climb aboard. With loading finished, you turn to the coxswain. Ready here. Let's get this boat moving. The Navyman turns the wheel and opens the throttle. At long last, you're on your way. And this is where we're gonna end it, guys. And yeah, it's getting late here. And we're just about to get into action. And that action we want to have next time. So, thanks for watching. And see you all in Morocco next time. As we're now gonna end the stream here and see where we can send you. Let's send you over. Let's send you over to Thrifty Wings, who's playing some chilled out Scribble Notes Unlimited. And yeah, see you all next time.